What's up guys? Today on this episode we've got this lovely Mazda MX5. It's a third generation MX5 in this lovely purple. We're going to be giving it a good machine polish, getting rid of all the swells and scratches, refurbishing the wheels, cleaning this soft top fabric roof, giving the interior a good clean and the engine bay as well. So follow us along on this journey to restore this car. Old paint to this. The Mazda MX5 originally released in 1989 and has fast become an enthusiast's dream, offering open-top rear-wheel drive motoring at an affordable price. Spanning over 30 years of production across 4 generations, the car is a staple of Japanese sports design. Being used as daily drivers to dedicated track cars, there is an MX5 out there for everyone. This particular model is a 2007 NC ZSport and has actually got over 120,000 miles on the clock. The owner loves the car and wanted to have it brought back to peak condition. As you can see, the headlights are faded, the wheels are corroded and the paint generally lacks shine. It's actually a deep metallic purple and it would be nice to bring that out. The roof is in reasonable condition, the owner had previously had it re-dyed, and the interior isn't too bad either, with just some light marks from use and of course dirty footwells. Onto the engine bay. This car has a 2-litre inline 4-cylinder with just under 160 horsepower. While not particularly dirty, it clearly hasn't had a deep clean in a while. So that'll be the first thing we're going to do. We're going to use a decent citrus pre-rinse solution, correctly diluted, as an initial clean, and then we'll follow this with a more in-depth snow foam and brush agitation. We'll make sure we try and get as much of the engine bay cleaned as possible. Now that the engine bay is complete, we're moving on to the rest of the car. So first, we're going to start by applying the same citrus pre-rinse that we used on the engine to the rest of the car, to the arches and to the tyres. The wheels are getting refurbished, so we're not going to do a deep clean on those. We're just going to spray some wheel clean on and jet them off, make them a little cleaner when we have to remove them later. Okay guys, we're going to be cleaning the fabric roof now on the MX5. To do that, we're going to use some all-purpose cleaner and a couple of brushes, so a reasonably stiff bristle brush and a slightly softer one to get around the edges. There are some weird marks in the roof which will not clean out. They're from sort of regular use and putting the roof down and putting it up, etc. We're going to clean it, and then at the end of the detail, when it's all dried, we're going to apply a fabric roof protectant and keep it protected, and it'll give a beading effect like you would get on the rest of the paint. You coming out really threw me off. Sorry. With the roof cleaned now, it's time to get onto the paint. As the car's already had some pre-rinse applied and jetted off, we're going to go straight in with the snow foam. We're using Built Hamber Auto Foam, which is, in my opinion, the best cleaning foam on the market. While that's drilling, we're going to go around the car, clean the shuts, trims, badges and fuel flap with a detail brush, and that will be followed up with a standard 2-bucket wash.
Samayo.
Just for clarity, we did skip filming the chemical decontamination and clay barring of the vehicle here, but it was done, and you can see that there's basically no water behaviour on the car, which means there's not really any protection present. Okay guys, the MX5 is prepped, ready for polishing. We've washed it, decontaminated it, so it's ready to go. But before we get on with the polishing, we're going to remove the wheels. As you saw, they're not in a good state of repair, so we're going to get those taken down to our refurbishment shop, and they will get acid dipped, shot blasted, repainted, and they'll be looking amazing when they're done. The wheels are actually standard fitment on the Z Sport model, and unfortunately you can see they've certainly seen some use and curbing over the years. Just wait until the end when they're back to a factory condition. The transformation's insane. Just like the wheels, the paint has certainly seen some better days. There's a lot of deep swirls and oxidation. The MX5 does have quite thin paint, so can suffer from UV damage more than other cars. Okay, as you can see, the MX5 is really heavily swirled, so we're going to start with the polishing now. And as you can see, we've done one pass of corrective polishing, and it's still not quite to our standards. So as we're going for a multi-stage polish on this one, we'll hit it a few more times until we're really happy, then we'll refine it at the end. Great, so after the second stage, we're looking a lot better. We can carry on with the rest of the car now, and then I'll show you the difference between this panel and this panel, which we haven't polished. You can see this difference on the right hand side where we've performed 2 or 3 stages of corrective polishing. It's not been refined yet, but there's not really any holograms, as you can see. And then the original paint, which is all faded and swirled, and it's not very nice on the left. It's a really, really nice color, especially when it's been polished and looked after. Well, we did clean around the badges in the wash stage. A lot of the marks you see here are actually limescale and other mineral deposits which have built up over many years. We're going to use Labocosmetica Energo, which is a great product for helping to remove this type of etching. And you can see the finished product looks much better than it did to begin with. It's important to have the correct tool for the job. Even the smaller of our roots polishers couldn't quite get in around the badge, so we moved to the 1-inch polisher to ensure all areas were given the correct attention. And no detailing video would be complete without a 50/50 of some kind with some tape, so I'm going to do one on the bonnet for you guys. It doesn't look too bad on video, but it is much worse in real life. And I think some of the other video clips might show that, but the bonnet doesn't seem too bad. Okay, this is after the first pass of polishing. You see a lot of the marks and hazing have gone. This is what I guess you would call our single stage polishing option. You can see there are still some deep marks, a few sort of swirls, etc. still remaining, but a lot more glossy than before. But as this customer has gone for our multi-stage polishing option, this isn't enough for us, so we will probably have to polish it another 1 or 2 times potentially, and then further refinement, get it perfect. And that's the comparison to the before. So that's after single stage and the before. And there are still a few groups of deeper swirls, and we'll probably polish it one more time, and then we will carry on with the rest of the bonnet and then come back to refine everything. We could cut down on the time it would take us to polish the car by using something like this, which is a wool cutting pad, or you could use a microfiber one. We're using foam at the moment, which is still quite aggressive, but not as aggressive as using these types of pads. And by doing that, it ensures that we are taking the minimal amount of clear coat off the paint, as when you're polishing, you are removing the clear coat. So rather than taking a big bite, we can just take teeny tiny little bits, which is safer for the car, although it does take a little bit more time. With these Mazdas, there's not a lot of paint, so we'll just check with a paint depth gauge. 74 microns, 77, 68. So that's very, very low amounts of paint. However, we don't need to be too concerned, because that is about typical for these MX-5, so you can still polish them reasonably safely. And what I'll do is I'll just show you on this BMW. So we have PPF the front end, so if I measure the front fender or the front wing, which we have put film on, it's 283 just because of the film thickness. But on the rest of the car, say the door, you'll get a more normal paint reading. This is a little bit low, but around 90, 103, that's much more typical. 116, so that's a much more normal paint reading. Okay, this is after polishing pass number 3. And although we could go more to remove these very faint deep swirls and marks, we're not going to on this particular car. The reason being, we don't have a lot of clear coat to play with, as I just mentioned. So we're going to ensure that the car can still be polished in the future if necessary. We quote approximately 90 to 95% swirl removal on our multi-stage polishing. I'm sure you can agree that's about right. And then the satisfying part for you guys, we'll get to see that 50-50 together. Wow. Look at that difference. We've gone from this horrible hazed and oxidized and swirled paint to this. This brings out that beautiful metallic color. While the car was in, we noticed a few dings and dents on some panels, so we had our dent guy Chris come down to take care of these while the car was in. He always makes it look so easy. If you didn't know, this is called PDR, or paintless dent removal, which is a way to remove dents by means of careful panel manipulation instead of a respray. Onto the headlights, and it is quite common for the MX-5s to suffer from this type of headlight fading and yellowing. In this instance, the client opted to have them repaired, so the process is pretty standard. We will sand them to remove the oxidization and then polish them back to a fresh finish. We can then protect them with a ceramic coating by re-lacquering them or applying a paint protection film. In this instance, they were ceramic coated at the end with the rest of the car. Just as a side note, it is important to protect the surrounding paint during the sanding and polishing stages. That's why we've taped up around the headlight. now, while editing the video, I can't get over what an amazing colour this car is. It's certainly one of my top 5 all-time favourites. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite colour is. There are some very weird sort of touch-up looking marks. There's some around this door handle here, and then there's a big drip all the way down the rear quarter panel. Not quite sure what they're from. I did ask the owner if he knew if there perhaps been any previous touch-ups in the past. He seems to think it might have been from when the convertible roof had been dyed before. But in any event, we will try and get these off. They haven't really come off with polishing, so we're going to use this, which is Labocosmetica Veritas. It's a chemical swirl and oils remover, and it's also good for removing touch-up paint and other sort of chemical contamination. So we'll give that a try now and see how it comes out. Now we have completed all of the corrective polishing, or the cutting phase, it's time to refine. The purpose of refinement is to remove any smaller marks, hazing or holograms that we might have put in, removing the heavier defects. Although, through careful use of polish, pad and technique, this can be minimised. It's still something we will always do to ensure the best results. We'll also use our panel wipe solution, something like Labocosmetica Veritas, to ensure that we're removing all traces of polishing oils from the surface. You might have had some instances in the past when you've had your car detailed, it looks great, and after the first wash, it just looks as bad as it did before. And this is because some filler polishes might have been used, which are then washed out. With the wheels back from refurbishment, they look a million times better now, with a lovely high gloss metallic silver finish to really pop against the deep purple paintwork. We protected these with an entry-level 6 to 12 month ceramic coating to help keep them cleaner for longer and easier to clean. So now we've done all the corrective polishing and the refining. Dan's just wiping the car down with Car Pro Razor, which is a panel wipe, removes any oils or silicons left from the polishing process, giving the best bond of the ceramic coating to the paint. So this particular car is getting our accredited only Labocosmetica 2-layer coating, so we're going to put STC down first as a base, and then we're going to apply HPC as a top coat. Just for clarity, we apply STC, the base coat, to the whole car first, and wait approximately 2 hours, and then we'll apply the second coat of HPC. Onto the interior now. We're giving the car our standard courtesy interior valet, which is a decent hoover and wipe down of all surfaces, the seats and the steering wheel. The interior wasn't too bad on this one, just a little dusty. Being a small car, it doesn't take long to do. The steering wheel was probably the dirtiest part of the interior, as they often are, being the most touched part of the car. We had to use a slightly stronger leather cleaner than we'd normally use, as it was so bad. However, it did come up really nicely. You are looking for that really nice matte leather finish to signify a clean wheel. Of course, with over 120,000 miles, there's only so much that can be done, but it is a lot cleaner than before. Considering the wheels had just been refurbished, we couldn't put these lovely 3D effect BBS center caps back in without giving them a quick polish first. Well guys, what can I say? This MX-5 is done now and it looks amazing. We've been able to bring the metallic out on this lovely purple colour. As you can see, it looks way better than it did when it came in. It's been well protected with our Labocosmetica ceramic coatings. It will stay looking like this for many years to come. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Smash that like button. Let us know in the comments what your favourite part of the video was. That'd be much appreciated. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.